What's up, everybody? Low Spark Chris here, about to do my review of 1 year of owning this 2016 Yamaha FZ-07. Let's go. So good afternoon once again. Time to give my review of my 2016 Yamaha FZ-07. I got it a year ago in July, so it's a 2-year-old model. I've owned it for a year. I did a 2-month review. Click on the link right there. And I haven't done a whole lot more to the bike since then. A few odds and ends things. Put on new brake and clutch levers. Added a radiator guard. I think that's about it as far as what I've added to the bike since that first review 2 months in. I bought the bike with 1,300 miles on it. I'm now sitting at 8,546 miles and counting. So I've put a little over 7,000 miles on this bike in a year. Had no issues with it. It's fun to ride around on. You know, my motorcycle experiences, I owned a Harley before this, as I've mentioned in other videos. This is my second bike. So while I wasn't a true beginner, this bike definitely, I feel, if there's someone out there that has a little bit of knowledge on how to operate, you know, either a dirt bike, four-wheeler, or something with a clutch, as these are set up, and wants a little more power than a 300 or even a 400 is going to offer them, this is a great bike to get. Price point's good, especially if you buy used. 3 reasons I love the FZ-07. Number 1, it looks badass. Plain and simple. Fighter jet looking. Number 2, it performs amazing. Super torquey. With my M4 exhaust, the thing growls at low RPM up to high RPM. It will get up and go. Top speed 130 miles an hour. But without the wind protection, 130 feels like 200. So not a high-end speed bike, but the torque and the get up and go in the mountains and around town and everything else is more than adequate. And number 3, the price point. I mean, brand new ones are what, 6-7 grand, something like that. I don't know exactly. Used, you can get them for 5 with mods. And I'll even add a 4th seating position. It is not an aggressive seating position at all. If you've ridden sport bikes in the past with aggressive riding positions, this will be night and day different. Which makes it great when you're doing trips up to the mountains and spending 300-400 plus miles on the bike at any one ride. That doesn't happen every day, and when it does, it's nice to have a little bit more upright seating position. Whips through corners and cars. So 3 things that I dislike about the FZ-07. Number 1, which I think any naked bike owner is going to say, is wind. You can see there's nothing here. And you can tell at any speed over 70 miles an hour. Number 2, it's an entry-level bike. The suspension is entry-level, brakes, all that stuff. This is not an ABS bike. I don't know if they came out with that until 2017 on the SC. I'm not sure. But everything's entry level and you can kind of tell. Nothing that is, you know, crazy like, man, this bike is got some crappy parts. That's not the case at all. But I just noticed riding it. But it's just the bike's brakes are a little squishy sometimes. And I know people that are, you know, big into riding, whether it's the FZ-07, the 09, whatever, they'll upgrade the suspension and do various things, which I won't do anything like that on this bike. So that's number 2. It is entry level. Number 3 is just the high-end speed, which I talked about earlier. Not that I want to go above 130 miles an hour, but being able to cruise at 70, 80 miles an hour on the highway, one, with a fairing sport bike where the wind is going to be less significant, and 2, when you're not in such a high rev range like you would be on the FC, for the type of riding I do, which I do go out and do long rides where I have to hit the highway for sometimes an hour at a time, that can kind of suck. You know? All right, y'all. Let's go into the old cycle gear here. See if we can find some gloves.
A few moments later.
Just left cycle gear. Got me a new pair of Alpine Stars. Yeah, these look good. While I'm here, before we close out this review, let's just take a walk around the bike. So, see the radiator guard that I put on it. It already came with the upgraded front lights and rear. The M4 exhaust, which you can hear, also was on it when I bought it. These were on it. I installed the MZS levers. I installed the rear sliders just to be able to get it up on a rear wheel stand. And I put the windscreen on it. So that's my review in a nutshell. FZ-07, good. So with that, hope you enjoyed this little review. Nothing mind-shattering, just my thoughts on it. You've heard it probably before, but wanted to give my 2 cents as an owner. Cue the music montage.